Hey everybody, how's it going? Hope everybody had a safe and happy holiday season. Um, this video is on Prospero Burns, the latest book as of December 26, 2010 in the Horus Heresy novel series. I got it before that date, and I read it already, which is why I'm doing this video. But as of the 26th of December 2010, which is when this video goes on YouTube, this is the latest installment in the series. So, 6 months from now, whatever, it won't be. So if you're watching this a year from now, what I just said would be incorrect. Anyway, Prospero Burns is a Space Wolf book telling you it's telling you the story of the Siege of Prospero through their eyes. It's basically the counterpart to the book A Thousand Suns. It's supposed to come out after it, but it got delayed. I believe it was supposed to come out after, and it was delayed. So, we have it now. Let me start off by saying I am not a Space Wolf fan, and I was debating on going into a little ramble, a tangent on why I'm not a Space Wolf fan in this video, but it would make this video too long. If anybody's really interested on why I'm not a Space Wolf fan, I can do a video dedicated to what I don't like about the Space Wolves, and why I don't like them. I will say that the core idea I think is interesting, but the way it's executed I do not like, if that makes any sense. But if anybody really wants to know, I can do a video on that. So just leave a comment. I may do it anyway, but yeah, anyway. Prospero Burns. I may not be a Space Wolf fan, but I did enjoy the book, I'll tell you that right now. Is their perspective on the happenings of the Council of Nicaea and the Siege of Prospero. A completely unique book, and by that I mean it's not just retelling events through their eyes. I mean, it kind of is when you get towards especially the Siege of Prospero, but that's to be expected. It's a battle between the Thousand Suns and the Space Wolves. But all the events leading up to it it's of its own book, pretty much. It's nothing that is being retold through their eyes. You get to meet a couple of characters you may have known already in the Space Wolf fluff, plus you meet some new characters. You learn a bit more about Fenris. You learn a bit more about Space Wolf culture, which is very nice. You get to read a little bit about the Custodian Guard, a little bit about the Sisterhood of Silence, which is pretty cool. There's like 2 sentences on the 2 Lost Legions, and they kind of imply certain things in those sentences without directly stating it's for the 2 Lost Legions, which is also kind of cool. I'm not going to give away anything plot-wise or anything like that. I'm trying to not spoil anything, so I'm not going to go too in-depth about the book. It's written in a very oral tradition way, I will say that. Meaning it's written like you expect to hear a tale told around a fire, especially if like some type of epic thing that happened. So it is interesting that way, because I don't think any of the books are kind of written like that. It's kind of done that way on purpose to go with the whole Space Wolf theme, the whole pseudo werewolf space Viking thing, which I really don't like, but I'm not going to get into that here. So that's interesting as well. And the book, timeline-wise, goes from the Great Crusade in earnest. Then you have it there. Then you have a feeling of it during the whole Eleanor campaign, when the Emperor goes back to Terra, and Horus takes over as War Master. You have a little bit of that, and then or at least that time period. And then you have a jump forward a bit to the Council of Nicaea, and then you have a jump forward a little bit after that to the Siege of Prospero. So pretty much it covers the Great Crusade, Horus Heresy kind of time period, and I guess the Heresy in earnest, but without actually talking anything about Horus's Heresy, because it focuses on Space Wolves and the Thousand Suns, or their siege of their homeworld. So that being said, if you're a Space Wolf fan, you're kind of obligated to pick up this book, I would feel, if you enjoy reading 40K novels. It'll give you good insight into the Legion a bit. Even if you play in a post-heresy Space Wolf army, you could take stuff from here and apply it to your army if you wanted to. If you're a Horus Heresy time period fan, I think you'll enjoy the book as well. It does what every other novel does, focus on a Space Marine chapter. It kind of hypes them up and makes them sound like the best of the best. And, I don't know, it just felt a little bit over the top for the Space Wolves. Maybe it's part of the whole pseudo-Viking or pseudo-werewolf space Viking thing. I don't know. But it's not a bad thing. I did enjoy reading it. It's just at certain points I'm like, come on. Mostly because I'm not a Space Wolf fan. But if you're a Space Wolf fan, I think you'll enjoy it. And overall, I would say I enjoyed the book. It's an entertaining book. I think if you read it, you won't really be disappointed. We're pretty much reading it just to be entertained and get some fan service pretty much out of the Horus Heresy time period. And it accomplishes that. I enjoy it. I'm not trying to knock the book down in any unfair way. I may not be a Space Wolf fan, but I'm not going to let that affect how I enjoy the book. And I did enjoy the book. It was fun to read. So, take that for what you will. Since I am not a Space Wolf fan, maybe if you're wondering if it's worth picking up, I can tell you as a non-Space Wolf fan that it is worth picking up if you enjoy the time period and anything like that. And if you're a Space Wolf fan, I'm pretty sure you probably picked it up already. You do not need to read any of the other Horus Heresy books or even 1,000 Suns to read Prospero Burns. One's not a sequel of the other. They just happen to be talking about the same event. So if you're wondering, do I need to read 1,000 Suns to read Prospero Burns? The answer is no. Unless you want to, of course, see the 1,000 Suns perspective on the whole ordeal and their perspective on the Space Wolves. But if you don't want that, you can read just Prospero Burns. And likewise, if you're a 1,000 Suns fan, you don't have to read Prospero Burns at all. You can just read 1,000 Suns. So, like, one book doesn't end without telling you everything. So you don't, like, if you read 1,000 Suns, you don't have to pick up Prospero Burns. It's not gonna continue the story at all. It's essentially the same story in terms of the Siege of Prospero, told through two different perspectives, but in unique ways. They don't just cover the same exact events over and over and over again. So I'm pretty much gonna stop it here. I'm kind of rambling on now. Again, I enjoyed it, and to be as unbiased as I can against the Space Wolf, because I'm not a Space Wolf fan, I would say it does them justice. It's written well in terms of trying to feel like a Space Wolf tale, pretty much, and overall, a lot of fun to read. Now, I'm still not a Space Wolf fan, but that's not any fault of the book. It's just continuing the Space Wolf fluff and feel, which is something I just don't really happen to be a fan of. So anyway, I would suggest picking up this book if you enjoy the Horus Heresy novel series, or if you're just a Space Wolf fan. I think all the Horus Heresy novels are entertaining, even some of the weaker ones, like Battle for the Abyss is probably the weakest one in my opinion, but I still enjoyed it. So anyways, that's it, and until next time, take it easy.